Ladies and gentlemen, if you came back for part 2, it's on now. Mate, we were only just getting into it. We've just broke into the Danny Tesh files. I've got to say, look, you've been building up a head of steam, okay? You've been traveling to America. You've been saying, putting on social media, I'll travel here, I'll travel there, anywhere, pull anyone. If you did another one of those polls, surely people want to see you pull Danny Tesh. I know you're going to say Danny's got some distractions at the moment, but when that man comes back, and surely he's got to come back at some point. I mean, if not, we need to start a petition. You know, he's got to be the guy, hasn't he? I mean, you must want that match bad.
Yeah, I mean, get the opportunities for me to pull Danny typically come no more frequently than once a year, and Danny says to me that he won't pull me because it hurts him. He said I get so close that it stretches his elbow. But I've never been. The incident stopped. I could be an inch from the pad, and I feel that stop, and I just think I can feel that it's over. Getting a match with Danny is something that was my focus. How to beat Danny Tesh and get the number 1 90-kilo rank in Australia had been my focus. That started about two years ago, and when I met John Brzenk, I showed footage of me against Danny, and John said to me straight away, "You need to develop a transition from a top roll to a press." And you saw me do that against Alan Guerra. You've seen me grow that immensely, and that was all because I was chasing Danny. That was what John said I needed in order to beat Danny. He said, "Take his wrist like you do, and then have the balls to commit to a press. No matter what you're feeling from Danny, you just have to commit." And so I have been practicing that damn transition from a top roll to my shoulder being over for Danny, literally for Danny for years. And I haven't yet had the chance to put the sword to Danny. I believe I could do it, but Danny's a smart man too, and I know that he knows how I've been training for him. And I almost expect Danny to come at me totally differently if I do get the chance to face him again. I don't expect him to try to catch me like he did. I think he's going to fight for height, and he's going to post, and he's going to try to take my wrist, which has been something he's never been able to do. But getting a match with Danny, it's hard, but it's a dream. It's a dream.
Does Danny have in the Arsenal? Has he got other looks about his game? When do you see him with other pullers doing a lot of top? Because I've never seen him top roll people. He doesn't seem to be that guy. He's just a guy that let's get
against me, Danny. I think Danny was always a little bit scared about top rolling because he'd lost his wrist to me traditionally. I feel like if he can, within his head, he felt that if he committed to a top roll and didn't get it, that he wasn't going to be in a position to jam up and stop me. So he's always just jammed up on me. But like I said, he's not that far away from being able to top roll me. His back pressure, his arm strength is amazing, and he's quite a tall guy. He's not a small middleweight. Like, he towers over me, so he can dominate.
6'3", something like that.
He's 6'3", yeah, 6'3". Yeah. So when I watch him pull other people, he just wins usually with just superior back pressure at the start. No one can access their strength because Danny's just back pressure is too good, and he just gently leads to the side and says, "Thanks very much." It's very hard to turn Danny into a hook if he's just on back pressure. And most people can't get over his wrist. So, fundamentally, back pressure, side pressure are his thing. His weakness is his hand, for sure.
Have you seen him beaten by bigger men?
No. Danny has been someone who hasn't competed in the super heavyweight division. I've seen him dominate the 90s so much. I've seen him. He's had matches, casual matches with the Milkman, and on left, and Danny won. He beaten Lachlan Adair on left. I've never seen. I haven't really seen Danny lose. That's the thing. He just doesn't tend to lose. But he never took the step up to supers, and I think a lot of that time was out of respect for me, because he knew I was chasing him so hard. So he always said, "All right, Ryan, you can have another crack if you want."
Yeah.
And yeah. So, but every time I've ever seen him practice pull with it doesn't matter how big they are. He's fine.
He's certainly an athlete. He's like the Australian version of Frode Haugland. It's like they're just a blueprint. Everything you say about him just has so much Frode Haugland in it, And he's an exciting prospect for sure. So that's yourself and Danny. You talk a lot about Jordan Davis now moving up to middleweight. I mean, this is another tall, rangy guy.
Jordan Davis must be Devin Larratt love child or something. I think Devin must have visited Australia cheekily 20 years ago or something, because that guy is cut from the same genetic cloth as Devin Larratt. His elbow to fingertip is the same length as Devin. He's only currently 83, 84 kilos. That's with him suppressing his weight. He's been deliberately suppressing his calories and weight to try to stay in range of the 165-pound class, which is, to be honest, only just within reach for him with a dehydrate. But he is.
I mean, obviously the PCP must be helping.
Yes. Yeah, the photos that he produces. I don't know what he does with those eyes of his, but
he looks like a bush baby. Every time you see him on it, it's like, here's me, Lachlan, and Jordan in another competition, and you just see, he's like he always. It's like he's just seen the best pair of tits in Europe just standing over your shoulder. Always, I don't know how he does it. And it can be like 4 a.m. You and Lachlan both look like you've been dragged through a hedge backwards, and there's Jordan Davis, absolutely wide awake. Unbelievable.
Honestly, I describe Jordan. I actually think that Jordan is. I think he's the best arm wrestler in Australia.
Really?
Yeah, I do. I think he has better awareness of the micro movements of arm wrestling than anyone. I taught Jordan Davis how to arm wrestle, and we used the Devin Larratt method of arm wrestling on a table 2 to 3 hours a day, 5 days a week for like 3.5, 4 years. We did that, and we arm wrestled at a pressure that was about 50 or 60% effort. And it was predominantly dragging back pressure hand-based arm wrestling. And we'd sit on the table and play a game of trying to bleed the other person, filling their arm up with lactic acid, and subsequently trying to keep your opponent on a very specific lactic acid. And he has developed intricacy in his hand that is phenomenal. And when a match, he is the kryptonite to me. Like, that dude is a scary dude to me. He knows me back to front, and honestly, him at the same weight as me is such a scary prospect.
Do you think that is going to be, and I'm not discrediting what you're saying there, but I know I've fallen into that trap sometimes before when I've trained with a guy, and they will have their bonfire where you're concerned, but doesn't translate to others.
I do agree. I do agree with your sentiment on that, because I have seen Jordan lose to people that I was like, dude, what are you doing to that? Like, I would have snapped that dude backwards, and yet you lost to him. And Jordan is another guy like me, excellent super match puller. He might lose the first round, but he adapts so well. And I think that's because the way that we trained over the years, and he just has a physical set of tools to run with, that ability to adjust even more so than I do. His hand is enormous. His arm is long. Like I said, he's got the same elbow to fingertip as Devin. So he models himself a lot on Devin. And as Jordan's conditioning matures in the sport, and he's now 6 years full-time in the sport, he is starting to be able to do the things that a young Devin Larratt used to do as well. And everyone says it here in Australia. We all believe that Jordan actually has the most potential out of any arm wrestler in Australia to become a legit elite. If he grows, like I said, he's been suppressing his weight at 84 kilos. I'm certain he could be 90 kilos within a month if he's just started eating again.
Yeah.
And
give up the
what
effort,
he could do. Yeah, what he could do when he's like that is a scary prospect. I really think he's an amazing arm wrestler.
He sort of reminds me a little bit of Tom Holland.
Yes.
Although different strength sets, it would seem. Jordan's very much outside arm wrestling base. I'm not sure he has the same. You tell me if I'm mistaken, but whenever you turn him, you supinate him, you get him into the hook, he doesn't have a great deal there. Where you turn Tom Holland into a hook, he'll seal your faith.
Yeah.
No.
Jordan has the gap there for sure, but Jordan closes that gap if he fully supinates. If he fully talks up and uses his connective tissue, he becomes, I can't pin him again. I've got to pin him in the gap between a fully supinated hook and him top rolling.
Can he pin you? When he engages there, is he just triangulated block?
If we just say go, he can't pin me. Not currently. But if I give him a count of 2 before I initiate and he just engages pressure, I can no longer pin him. And every time we have a long pull, he ends up pinning me. He grinds me out every time. So,
what will be interesting?
That's him at 84 kilos.
Well, yeah, I was just going to say what will be interesting is suppressing his weight. How much of a issue that's been for him? How old is he, mate?
I think he's like 23.
Yeah, so he's only a puppy as well. So it could be that his body's screaming out to be bigger. He's just a bigger guy, and that could make a tremendous difference.
Honestly, I can't help but think that he's going to be 100 kilos someday. Just he's 6'4". His current percentage body fat must be like 5 or 6%. He's crazy lean. If he starts eating, puts on a little bit of fat, and just gives his body permission to grow, I think he quickly becomes 210 pounds. And then 3 years from now, I think he's 230 pounds. If he keeps that path, and that's where he becomes the number 1 arm wrestler in Australia. Where a 100 kilo Jordan, I think, walks all over everyone down here.
Wow, it's quite an obviously apart from Danny, but quite an impressive set of statistics there. I mean,
there's actually a match. I'll send it to you after this. Danny Tesh against Jordan Davis shows you how amazing Jordan is. Danny wins, but Jordan holds up Danny's press for eternity, and Jordan does his shoulder, and the only reason Danny pins him is Jordan does his shoulder. Jordan had a legit stop, and Danny could not pin, could not find a way. It wasn't out holding. Jordan is the one guy that Danny can't out hold, and it's because of Jordan's ability to coil so deep that you get this overwhelming sense of, oh shit, I need to pin this guy, otherwise it's going to get worse real quick.
Yeah, a lot of the long arm lads have that. I mean, particularly those who can go supinated crazy. Tom Holland is that guy as well. He gets crazy deep. So it's not the physical strength. It's the horrible position that you feel yourself in, like stupidly deep inside. Craig Sanders is a similar, Craig Sanders is a very unusual build. He's got very, very long arms. Really, not a tall guy, only about 5'9".
Hey, I got a bone to pick with you, Neil. I can't remember exactly where, but somewhere in the last 3 months, somebody referred to a quote of yours where you said that Craig Sanders would kick my ass if I had a match with him. Is that true?
Kick your ass?
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever discussed. Honestly, I don't think I've ever discussed you and Craig Sanders in my life.
Okay, all right, I'll let you off the hook.
Now, can I just take a flying guess at who might make that comment? Artem.
Yeah.
Because what I said was that Artem would smack the living daylights. That Craig would smack the living daylights out of Artem, and Artem took real umbrage at that. So if there's a little link going on there,
no, I can agree with that one. I agree with that one. I got utter respect for Craig. He's an old guard of the sport. Yeah, and an immense.
Do I think Craig could? While we're on this call, do I think Craig can do something with you? Yeah, I think Craig and you would be interesting. I wouldn't call that match done and dusted, not by any means. Is he in it? Yeah, I think he is. Because other guys that I think you'd have good matches with, Stoica Bogdan, Paul Maiden, guys like that. Is Craig still capable of cracking those on any given day? Hell yeah.
Well, that's the thing. There's a certain level within the sport where it doesn't matter what weight you are anymore. You're just at that level. And yeah, a 150-pound elite can still muck the day up of a 210-pound guy. No worries.
Well, the thing is, Craig, when he's not cutting down for tournament and he's walking just his walk around weight at around 88 kilos, that's the dude.
Ooh, 88? Jeez, I didn't realize.
Mate, you imagine that dude at 88 with the body fat of a wisdom tooth. Look, it feels like. Yeah, let me tell you now. I mean, I've had softer hard-ons. That dude walks it. He feels like wood. Let me tell you now. That is a serious individual when he's walking around at that level, and there's no body fat on him at all, mate. He's rock solid, And nice. when that guy shows up, you're in a match. You better hang on because he will pull you out of your shoes, and that's the that's the danger for you because he's so quick and he's very diverse. He'll pull in a lot of different shapes, put a lot of different positions, and unorthodox. Very, very unorthodox. It takes you a little bit of a. You got to get a bead on Craig. So many guys have experienced that, and they felt like they can do something, and then Craig just decimates them in a second, and they go, "Whoa, didn't feel that coming. What was that about?" So, but Artem. Artem, I did say I thought that Craig Sanders would. He made a comment about Craig, and I said, "No, Craig will bust you up, dude." I said, "Craig will absolutely swallow you."
I agree with that one. I love you, Adam, but I agree with that one wholeheartedly.
You agree wholeheartedly that Craig would bust his ass?
Yeah, I do.
So, I love you too, Artem, but you're getting busted. You need to stay away from Birmingham, dude. Because it's going to be a bad day. You go up there, I'm telling you, the bullet dust your ass. And that's nothing personal. Like you say, Artem's got a good left. Really solid left. But that's a different match. Right-handed?
I've got a left, Neil.
I heard it's coming on. I'm
willing to say that my left has somewhat arrived, and not to the level of my right, but it's suddenly relevant, and I didn't even realize that until I was doing my little Florida tour and Arizona tour when I gripped Chance Shaw on the practice table and he couldn't do anything to my left, and I just at first I thought Chance must be god awful bad like me, but then I gripped a couple other people and I'm like, what's going on here? This is interesting. I get over to John's place and people like Dustin Allen, who had a decent match with Lachlan Adair last year, I was able to contain him on left, and I'm thought, get out of here. And I asked John, I said, where's my left at? And he's like, no, your left has arrived. It is so much better than last time we gripped up. So that's Todd Hutchins. Todd has enforced me to train my left as well, and it's now 10 months of training Todd Hutchins style, and the left has finally turned up.
Well, every credit to you, mate, because that's perseverance. And, when I had my third joint operation, I did a total joint rebuild just here on my elbow. You can see all the damage from where that was done. Lost you, mate, somewhere there. I don't know where you were. There you go.
Sorry, I had a Lachlan Adair trying to call me. He'll probably do it again.
But when that happened and they got the surgery, I couldn't move that arm for probably about 14 months. I had a thing called a cryocuff on, which was basically pumping ice into the arm all the time. And that period of time, my left literally doubled in strength. I mean, every exercise I was doing in the gym, I don't know why, it just went into the ascendancy.
More than 44?
No, I don't know whether it was 44, to be honest, mate. But it did. And a lot of exercises, it went past 44. But you've got to remember it was coming from a really low base. It was. I was like a fiddler crab. I had a right arm and no left. and then it went the other way. It was left, and I think it was down to being joined up more than it'd ever been. And this is going to sound stupid. I always brush my teeth with my, but suddenly, for a year, I'm brushing my teeth with one arm. I'm doing everything with the left arm. Yeah,
feels like someone else.
It's a lot of weight, ladies and gentlemen. A lot of weight. So you're slinging that kind of weight around. With that kind of frequency, something's got to give. And let me tell you now, came on a lot. It came on a lot. I was doing everything with it, and just felt so much more joined up. Like you'd normally pick up a ball and you go to throw it and you can't throw it on that arm. Everything came.
Yeah, no, I'm hearing it. Hey Neil, I don't know. Just giving you a heads up. I don't know if I can't see you. I don't know if that means you're not recording your own video. Just giving you the heads up, but
no idea, mate. But being that we are known for our technical prowess on this show,
I got you back.
Nothing happened there that I'm aware of. So, if anybody out there is now, that may have been, what the hell is a transition screen as well? Because somebody knocked that the other day. They went, "Yeah, nice transition screen, loser," like that. I was like, I didn't know whether to be offended or not because I didn't actually know what that is.
You don't know what your transition screen looks like, but yeah.
Not a clue, mate. No idea what that is. That transition screen, I don't know what that is. But anyway, don't know what created that. If I did go off there, glad I'm back. Wasn't aware of it. I've just been looking at that same little dot all the time. Totally lost my flow. What were we talking about at that point?
Oh, we were on the left arm, man. My left arm had arrived because of Todd. And, yeah.
So now, do you think that you are going to be chasing the sort of that equal standing, right and left? Are you going to be the guy both arms now?
Well, I don't know that my left can truly catch my right because of the head start my right has. They're currently getting the same amount of attention, but I am identifying that my left has a different set of strengths compared to my right, which is interesting. I think that's a pretty common experience amongst pullers, that they have two different shapes for their attacks and defense per arm. But I think that I'm actually excited about left for the first time, because I haven't yet taken it out for a spin, so to speak. I haven't really pushed it. I was going to do that at the Arnold's Classic, but COVID-19 killed that. So I don't know. We'll see. I don't know when the next opportunity to pull left is going to happen, but I'm excited to see what happens.
Well, as we said earlier on the call, mate, at the end of the day, you've got that real opportunity now to continue doing that work, to just, diligently put the hours in and see how far you can push it. And you never know. If we're locked away for another 12, 14 weeks, you can progress a long, long way in that period of time. Your arm might be an entirely different level when we come out of this thing, And that's one of the beauties of if there is something positive to take away from this absolute storm that is COVID-19, that's it. I mean, I was speaking to Devin, and he's decided he'd just grow his hair for the year, so already.
We are lucky as arm wrestlers that we are already very equipped and prepared to train at home. We don't need commercial gyms. We prefer not to be in commercial gyms as arm wrestlers. We have our little obscure setups, and I have everything I need in my garage to continue the training to its maximum capacity. So, whatever.
Do you find that you're doing more gym work now than you've ever done after coming onto the Todd program? Has that really changed your whole existence? Because when you started, it was table.
Yeah, I went through seasons, table. I went through a gym season where I just made it up and just worked hard on whatever I felt like it. Then Todd gave me structure in the gym, and that has without a doubt been immensely successful in making me stronger and more robust. Todd's biggest focus is not side pressure. It's not 1 rep maxes. It's staying healthy. The amount of volume that he has me doing just in medium weight, at the bicep joint, with the tricep joint, with the shoulders, at the wrist. I do a lot of volume, and that programming has been very, very successful. I still want to do a lot of the table time. I still very much value the instinct side of arm wrestling. So I love gripping up with people, as many different hands as possible. And I still want to travel and arm wrestle as often as I can. But when I'm home, yeah, I'm locked in the gym doing a far more gym time than I ever used to.
Now, I'm conscious I've had you on here for a long time now, mate. But just before I let you go, I wanted to get into sort of your own aspirations going forward. For obviously, your next logical step would be Brandon in 601 when that does come about. Yeah. Following that, how do you see your next sort of your path in the World Arm Wrestling League panning out? Is it still Bishop? Is he the guy in the crosshairs, or have you moved on?
It is. No, it's Justin. I'm so ready for Justin. Brendan was going to be a great match. I really liked where that match was evolving to. But for sure, if I was successful with Brendan, Justin, I feel like I'm so ready for Justin. I feel like I can beat Justin in all positions now. And I know that people can hate me saying that. All the Justin fans, all the people that like to say I'm shooting too high. I feel like just within myself, I feel that confident that I could beat Justin anywhere now. I feel like I'm a bigger human than him. And just in the frame, I think that I've matured physically in the last 12 months in a way that has will make it an uphill battle for Justin. I just think I'm a bigger human, and I respect him as a puller, but I think I have the edge strength-wise now. From there, of course, I would love a crack. If I was to get through Justin, whether it happens, if I have to go through a Storm or a Paul or a Jordan Sill or someone like that, I respect that as well, because those guys are all, in my eyes, honestly, still above me. Mm-hmm. But I would love to get a crack at RBJ. I've been planning and dreaming already how it goes technically, how I do what I need to do to beat him. Now, the thing about arm wrestling that I love most is that you can be the weaker man and still win. And I know I'll concede right now, I'm the weaker man for sure. I'm the weaker man. I might have only a couple of little spots that I can even claim to potentially be the stronger man, but they're very narrow windows. But I love that this sport allows you to still be the weaker man and still win. And I think that I'm within enough range that that's possible. And combined with the emotional manipulations that I think could play out, it would be a match that I would love, whether it's a year from now, a year and a half from now, 2 years from now. I'd love to face Rob at some point. And outside of the WAL, I want to visit the Zlotiter again. I need more experience under those rigid rules, conditions. It feels like a different sport almost. Obviously the same, but it feels so different. I feel like I became an arm wrestler. Most people, Travis Bajan said this to me the other day when I chatted on the phone. He said most people become an arm wrestler under rigid rules, and then they jump across to the wild, wild west and struggle there. He said, you've become an arm wrestler in the wild, wild west, and then you're struggling to jump over to the strictness of rigid rules. So I acknowledge I need more experience. I've only had like 10 ready goes under those conditions in my life, where I've had 600-700 ready goes under far looser conditions, where you can manipulate the start and move more. So Zlotiter is a big one. I want to compete there again and improve on my results. But overall, I'm not afraid to say that I want to be the world champion for my weight category someday. I don't have a timeline on it, but that's what drags me along. And ultimately, I want to be able to retire from the sport as an old man, being remembered as one of the all-time greats. I love the sport that much that's where I want to go.
Ryan, why not, mate? Why not? I mean, you got to look, and I'm not just coming on and saying, the believe, conceive thing. I'm saying that why not? Your progression at the moment has been remarkable. I mean, you put in the hours in like no one. You are, let's be honest, also, you're a professional arm wrestler. You know, this is what you do. You wake up, you train, you have access to some of the best arm wrestling brains in the world, teaching you, allowing you to improve. It's a fascinating journey, mate, on exactly how far you can get. And I think it's captivated a lot of people, and it's really got a lot of attention. You must feel pressure from it because all eyes are on you, mate, but you've got to take your hat off to what you have accomplished and what you may yet accomplish.
I actually don't feel too much pressure. And the thing that allows me to alleviate that pressure is a couple of factors. One, that I genuinely just love this process. So I'm not stopping. I don't feel the pressure of expectation because I just love it. So I know that I'm in for the long haul no matter what because I love it. I also don't feel too much pressure because I give myself permission to lose. And if I reach my cap, I reach my cap. A few people mistake me. They'll take little moments of what I say and think that I am cocky or that I expect to reach a certain level. I don't actually expect it. I just see it as a real possibility given I love the sport so much. And as you said, I have the opportunity, and like under the conditions I'm in, time is not an issue. Access to coaches is not an issue. I'm barring injury. There's no reason for me to stop this. And it's from where I am right now, 7 years in the sport, I can't imagine adding another 20 years of this level of interest and not getting there. To me, it seems inevitable that I get there. And if not there, I'll get bloody close after that many years. Like, so that's why I feel very relaxed and I don't feel any pressure on it. It seems like an inevitable thing, and I'm just enjoying the journey on the ride.
Good for you, Ryan Bowen. And I want to thank you, mate, for taking your time out. I know you've not had the easiest of weeks, and I've got a massive amount of time and respect for you for taking the time out and coming and being your normal, honest, open, endearing self, mate. And I mean every ounce of that. Really. I hope to check in again with you soon and regularly, mate. And
thanks, man. I really grateful for your support. As we mentioned right at the beginning of the show on the first episode, you chatted for me for a good half an hour before we started recording anything in it. And the level of support you offered, and, along with all of the world arm wrestling community, the support's been overwhelming. So thank you so much.
Thank you, mate. And take it easy. You know where we're at. Guys, if you enjoyed the show, please let everybody know about it. As I say, technical prowess like this doesn't come along every day. So make sure you let people know. Shout about it, guys. We'll keep doing them if you enjoy what we do. And thanks for your support. Take it easy, guys. We'll see you on the next one.
See you guys. Bye.